The Tales Teller's Library, an Element Odysseys Companion. Shadow's Origin by Kimberly Ann Bashton. Copyright 2019. Even the smallest person can change the course of the future. J.R.R. Tolkien, The Fellowship of the Ring. A Lesser Demon, Alaskan Wilderness. Large flakes of delicate frost floated to the earth, landing on the already frozen terrain. It was the middle of summer, but atop Mount Denali, winter was eternal. The ever-watchful bobcat was crouched within the confines of the ancient rocks, its short tail curled against the spots along its hip. Hidden, it kept its chin pressed low, picking up powder in its fur. The feline's glowing eyes pierced the darkening sky, its senses on high alert, but it still had yet to find the trace of an intruder. It inched forward in hopes of a better vantage point, exposing no more than the black tips of its ears, which blended in with the night as darkness took hold. Secure in its new position, the bobcat sniffed the thin air once again, but there was no hint of a disturbance. By the power of flame, swore the bobcat, tired of waiting for any sort of news. It had already been nearly a day since the raiding party had immobilized the guards in front of the heavenly gateway and broken into one of heaven's spirit banks. There had been no word from the feline's commander since then, and it had begun to fear the octet general had simply left them to their own devices. The wait only worsened as the direction of the wind began to shift, blowing downward, completely diminishing the updraft along with any warning of an approach from below. The bobcat fixed its gaze down the slope, the vast opening scene of stark canvas, peppered with the faint twinkle of falling snow. It took in the picturesque quiet, pining for it not to end. It had forgotten the serenity of being alone amongst Eden's nature. Vibrations tickled its ears, and the sound drew the bobcat's attention back to the height of the mountain, the cave up ahead resonating with the primal voices befitting Hades' horde of demons. The cacophony was more boastful than vicious. The bobcat frowned, disappointed in their utter lack of control. It did not begrudge them its missing out on whatever debauchery or skirmish was taking place within the cave. It had not the stomach for the crueler side of its demonic nature, nor was it particularly fond of raid parties. In fact, it typically evaded these types of situations altogether, unless it was commanded otherwise by the master of hell himself, or one of his octet generals. In this instance, General Rachel was to blame. A vivacious roar trumpeted out into the sky, disturbing the brittle fresh powder, flittering it out into the wind. Fools, grumbled the bobcat under its breath. The lot of them. They'll compel an avalanche if they keep this up. It would serve them right, too. Another cry arose from the cave, although this time it was far more retaliatory. A charge. The bobcat lifted its paw, ready to investigate further, but a kiss of her scent tickled its nose. Glancing back down the slope, its split eyes saw a dark mass ascending the mountain. The bobcat placed its paws back in the snow and resumed its stealthy stance as the vixen of hell came into view.